Hey, this is Samantha here from RecipeThis.com and the voice behind the popular Kitchen Gadgets podcast, Magic with Gadgets. Today I wanted to show you just how easy it is to make a cordon bleu in the air fryer. Well, before we dive into this recipe, I just wanted to suggest that you head over to RecipeThis.com. We've got more than 1,200 kitchen gadget recipes, including recipes for the air fryer, instant pot, slow cooker, soup maker, bread maker, microwave, Ninja Foodie, and many others. We also have a free weekly newsletter, which you can find on the homepage of RecipeThis.com, or you can find it on RecipeThis.com/newsletter. And there you can get our best kitchen gadget recipes sent to your inbox every Friday morning. After sharing with you how to do a frozen cordon bleu in the air fryer some time ago, I also shared with you the homemade version, and today's the time when we're finally getting around to doing you a video showing you how to do the homemade cordon bleu. It is really easy to make, and we usually make it at the same time as some other breaded food, and it's perfect for some comfort food in the air fryer and makes great Friday night food. So what do you need? You need a production line. That's the most important thing. That's where you have a bowl with your flour, a bowl with your egg mixture, and a bowl with your breadcrumbs. You know, just basic flour is fine. Eggs, you batter the eggs up so that they're all ready, so that you can drip your cordon bleu in it straight after the flour. And then your breadcrumbs can be from any bread. We also do it in bulk. That way we can use it for lots of breaded recipes, and then we can freeze the breadcrumbs and use them as an ongoing supply for other recipes. For example, this is the massive bowl of breadcrumbs that we made. And then once you've got them ready and your bowls are ready, you want to season them, because otherwise they're so bland. So mixed herbs, Italian seasoning, bouquet garni, any of those three will work in the flour, as well as some salt and some pepper. Then your middle bowl, which is your egg mixture, you want to add in some garlic puree. This just gives a lovely garlicky taste to it once it's cooked. And then finally, to your breadcrumbs bowl, you want to add some parsley. That gives it a lovely green colour. And then also in there, you want some salt and you want some pepper. And then what I recommend you do is you get a fork, a knife or a spoon, and then just use it to stir everything together. Flour, breadcrumbs, and then do the egg last, because you don't want to be dunking your spoon from the egg into the breadcrumbs. And then that's your production line. Now, this would apply to any breaded chicken in the air fryer, or even some breaded fish in the air fryer as well. So what now do you need to turn it into a cordon bleu? Well, you'll need 2 large chicken breasts that you can fillet, so that you can change them into butterfly chicken. And then I recommend a plate to place them on once you're done, before they go into the air fry basket, which if you're doing make ahead cordon bleu, let's say you're doing it for dinner tonight, plate is essential. And then what goes in the middle, and that is the cheese and ham. We've got some sliced breaded ham from M&S, and also from M&S we've got some Gouda. If you're wondering, well, what cheese and ham should I put in, any cooked ham, so you can use it as a leftovers recipe after Christmas from your Christmas ham or Easter ham. But the cheese, you want to avoid a cheese that melts really fast. By this I mean avoid cheddar, red Leicester and mozzarella, and focus on a longer lasting sliced cheese, such as we're using Gouda, or any Swiss or continental Europe cheese will have a similar effect. Because the idea is, when you make cordon bleu, you're adding a slice of ham and cheese into the middle of the chicken as it's butterflied, and if it's really fast cooking cheese, the likelihood is the cheese will melt out of the chicken and you'll end up with a messy air fryer. And then of course, I'm passing you over to my lovely husband Dominic, because he's been a chef for many, many years, and he's very good at showing people how to bread the chicken for the air fryer, and of course butterflying the chicken. So over to Dominic. And we've got 2 large chicken breasts that we're using here. Like I mentioned, it's the butterflying of the chicken, because the idea here is that you put the cheese and ham in that little space, and then you kind of cover it back up again, so it's like a lovely pocket of cheese and ham. And then your breadcrumb in it, ready for cooking in the air fryer. The most important thing is it's flat, like Dominic's showing you there, and that you haven't cut all the way through it, because you don't want like 2 half chicken breasts, because you want to be able to seal it back up again. So then same again with the second one. And I also recommend when doing this that you use large chicken breasts, because the smaller ones you won't have the space for the cheese and ham, and it's more likely to cut all the way through. So that's your chicken breasts butterflied, and I recommend now that you wash your hands, because you know what chicken's like. And then after that, it's time to season them. Just a bit of salt and pepper on each of the chicken breasts. And then let's talk ham and cheese. It's totally up to you which ham you use. Like I say, it works well with leftovers after Christmas. No, we're out of holiday season, so we're literally just doing them with some sliced ham that we've picked up from M&S. And then you just want to fold over a couple of slices of ham. Oh, and of course this will work with gammon as well. It doesn't have to just be with ham. And then once you've got the ham in, the next stage is to add the cheese. Favourite choice here is always the Gouda. The Gouda makes the most amazing cordon bleu. When we lived in Portugal, Gouda was everywhere, and it was our favourite cheese when we were over there. And we still love it now we're back in England. It's a Dutch cheese, and you could do the same with Edam as well. So once you've done your cheese and your ham, as you can see with what Dominic's doing there, let me just zoom in on the second one so that you get a better look at the second one. You're just folding it over so that the cheese and the ham are covered, and they're not going to, so that the cheese isn't going to escape as it cooks. So that's the only bit you really have to be careful with. And then once you've done that, give your hands another wash. You'll probably get sick of that when you're breading chicken, but have a closer look at that. Have a look how well it's breaded. It's going to be breaded, and how a little cheese is on show, because even though you can see a bit of cheese hanging out now, that once it's got the breadcrumbs on, that'll properly coat it. And like I said, the larger the chicken breast you can get, the better for this recipe. And then get rid of the excess. And then once it's done the egg bowl, it's ready for its breadcrumbs. Shake it around, make sure there's a lot of breadcrumbs on it, and then we'll be able to give you a closer look, and then you can just see how well the cheese is covered. Press down, you know, take your time with this, don't rush it, because otherwise that's when you end up with the escaped cheese. Right, so let's take a closer look, shall we? And that is just how good it looks when it's breaded, and you need that same level of breading when you do it. And now I will show you it again with the second one, just so that you get a good idea. So again with the second one, into the flour mixture. Make sure it gets a good coating on the flour. Like I say, you've got to be delicate with this because you don't want your cheese and ham coming out. And then once it's done in there, it's time for it to get drenched in the egg. And then after the egg, into the breadcrumbs. If you look, Dominic uses one hand for the breadcrumbs and another for the flour and egg, because it saves you getting egg mixture into your breadcrumbs. And then give it a really good coating. And there you have it. That is 2 cordon bleus breaded and ready for cooking in the air fryer. So you've got to put your air fry basket, and then be careful because you've got a lot of breading going on here. You don't want to lose it, you don't want to lose any cheese or ham. You just want to be really gentle as you put them in. And then the other good thing is, from having it on a plate first, is then any of the excess will come off on the plate, so it makes the job even easier. And let's just move them a little bit so they're not properly touching. And then in the air fryer, turn it on, and you're looking for a temperature of 180 Celsius, that's 360 Fahrenheit, and a time of 10 minutes. And we've beeped. Wow, those is what you call a chicken cordon bleu. There's a little bit of cheese that's come out, but that's totally natural. It's not like your air fry is absolutely covered in cheese. So that's absolutely perfect for plating up for dinner, and you will absolutely love it. So let's get them out the air fryer, shall we? And look at me. When you're staying somewhere else and it's not your own place, you end up using all their utilities, and they're never the same ones that you've got at home. So I just have to, it's a bit flimsy is this spatula, but I just wanted to give you a close-up of that because it looks absolutely fantastic. I know if you love cheese and ham, I mean seriously, you're in foodie heaven here. But yeah, look, that's all the cheese that's come off, so that's really not bad considering you're stuffing it with cheese. I think quite often you see these perfect end photos, and you then do it yourself and you're thinking, well, how come their cheese always leaks out and mine doesn't? And it's probably because they've wiped that little bit of cheese and then they've put it on the plate with some nice bright greens and it looks amazing. But this is your reality, and absolutely delicious as well. So this is the cordon bleu, cool enough now for me to chop into and to show you how amazing it is. So I'm just going to do a big cut down the middle here, just so that you can see what the centre looks like. So let me show you. So if you look there, you can just see the centre, and it just looks amazing. And even the cheese that's come in, as it's cooled down, it's actually kept its place. And then let's do the same again for the other one. And again, this one actually looks a lot better because you can see the ham and cheese centre on this one. And they're just fantastic for something quick and easy in the air fryer. And like I say, perfect if you have some spare ham that's left over. Let me just grab a bit to try. Oh, that is so good. I could eat this every day. And it does help that the ham and cheese are from M&S. That's just amazing. And if you just look at the crisp on that, that's just the best. You know, if you've not made it before in the air fryer, I highly recommend you try our chicken cordon bleu. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the Recipe This family. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook and Pinterest. We also have a weekly newsletter at recipethis.com/newsletter where we share with you our latest kitchen gadget recipes, what we're cooking in the Milner kitchen, and so much more. As well as this, we recommend that you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and then whenever we have a new video, you will be the first to know. And if you want to know about all our future videos, then I recommend you hit the bell for instant notifications. But even better, we now have a podcast. It's called Magic with Gadgets. Simply search Magic with Gadgets on your favourite podcast player and you'll find us there.